Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Happy Wednesday and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox with Lubie and Defo. And we are coming to you live today on the stream from one of our favorite spots, Even Keel Fish Shack. It's an Even Keel Wednesday. We're out at Lauderdale by the Sea, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard. Come on out. The beach is looking mighty fine today. The waves are up. The weather is warm, and Defo looks relaxed and tanned. It's good to see him in the flesh again after a week of celebrations for his birthday. And the celebration is going to linger because here we are. How are you today, Defo?
Well, I'm okay. I mean, I got a little bit Mayo-ease verklempt before the show because the Mustang had to use my car. She was taking some stuff somewhere, so she took the SUV. I told her to leave me the keys for her Volkswagen convertible Beetle, which I don't mind driving at all, especially a nice jog down the beach here from where I live, a mile away. And it's a good thing I am a mile away, or I wouldn't be here at the beach because she left me her car key configuration, but without the actual key that starts the car. So that was the only thing missing. So I tried the house key. I tried some, key to some storage unit that we must have. And next thing you know, I realized that none of these are the car key. And you can't start the car. So the great Jim Sarney was kind enough. I mean, how about a personal chauffeur job from Jim Sarney picking me up and driving me down here to the Even Keel? And fortunately, I live close enough, so we made it for showtime.
Yeah, not only is he the honorary producer and mascot of the Lunchbox, now he is also the official, I guess we call it chauffeur, transportation services provider of the Lunchbox. I don't know what his rate is, but we'll definitely reward him today in maybe in grilled oysters and believe it or not, French fries. I got today, guys, nice. Is National French Fry Day, and we're here at Even Keel. And even though they have all the great seafood, they also have tremendous hand-cut French fries that they serve with their fish and chips. Some of the better fish and chips in town. Beer battered. I think he uses Red Stripe, Hooray beer, with their fresh fish, and then the French fries they serve with all kinds of, their sandwiches, the fish sandwiches. And I don't know about you, Defo, but I love me some fresh cut French fries. Do you do it with or without ketchup?
I'll take it both ways. I like them salted sometimes. These fries are very, very good, cooked to perfection. Jim was asking me on the way down here, what are my favorite type of French fries? And I like all types of French fries. I would have to say if I was going to pick an all-time favorite, and we mentioned this about the hot dogs earlier today. We were talking about hot dogs with Tony Segreto. And I think a Nathan's hot dog is my favorite hot dog. And I believe Nathan's fresh cut, the wedge cut French fries they make, still take the cake.
I call them crinkle cut fries.
Whatever they are,
yeah,
those are the best by far. And made at Nathan's, Coney Island, still the best ever.
Yeah, no, I was having this discussion with Sarney right before the show. What is your favorite French fry out there? There's the classic pommes frites, the shoestring fries that McDonald's has made famous. And I don't know about you. It doesn't matter what time or day or night or my level of sobriety. But I love my, if you get a fresh batch of McDonald's shoestring fries, they're still pretty darn good.
Yes.
Then you've got, like you mentioned, the crinkle cut fries from Nathan's. The thick ones are really good. I don't like the ones that are like the Ore-Ida frozen out of a bag. That I think like Shake Shack. I don't know. Have you ever been to Shake Shack? That's that
I have been. Yes.
Yeah. They have crinkle cut, but the thinner variety, the one that makes me think of my elementary school cafeteria. Bad flashbacks.
The frozen ones were never that great, and tater tots don't qualify, I don't think. But a lot of good French fries out there. You got the truffle fries now. I mean, this would be in your ballpark there. We're talking about hitting one out of the park at Wrigley. I don't know. Are you a big fan of the very expensive but truffle covered fries?
No, because
in
most
any
of
way?
the time they're using this garbage synthetic truffle oil that it's not made from
There you
any
go.
real truffles. It's made from some sort of chemical, some sort of lab manufactured thing. And you know me, I'm all about the real food. Defo. I don't like the processed foods, whether it's vegan stuff when they're making cheeses out of soy products, ugh, or if they're making truffle oil out of essence of truffle. Now, some places there are some really high-end brands that actually use truffles to make their truffle oil, but those bottles usually go for about $30 to $40 for it's kind of like a perfume, like the Givenchy perfume that you dab a little bit here and there. That real stuff is going to be way too expensive to use in any of these kind of restaurant fries, unless they're charging $25 for a basket of fries. And even with inflation, I don't think anybody wants to pay that.
Gordon Ramsay might be putting that price tag on there with his $17 sides and $24 non-lobster bisque. The steak fries also are good, though. The first time I had steak fries, I was kind of overwhelmed with joy. Although, eating a couple of those, you start to feel a little bit of guilt. You may as well just have a baked potato after a
Yeah,
while.
right. It's just basically if they drop, they take out the potato part, remove the skin, and take out like a square rectangle from the baked potato and just drop it in a vat of
But they're good
oil.
on occasion.
They're
Yeah,
good.
you get them with
Oh no,
breakfast.
and
especially.
it's funny because you have the steak fries, which are kind of the rectangular ones, and then you have the wedge, which is the triangular wedge of. I used to be a big wedge fan. There was a place up in Boston area where I went to school called the New Bridge Cafe, and their claim to fame were these big platters of marinated sirloin tips. You don't see those a lot down here, though. They're also known as tri-tip, I guess. But those sirloin tips they would serve with this big, nice mound of those, basically the wedges, the wedge fries, and that was a really good combo.
No, all good. Yeah, I mean, and there are a million ways to make them. Brad does a great job here. You're right. The fish and chips must be dynamite. And you mentioned your buddy, who I'm hoping he shows up and maybe indulges in a couple of beverages here, because he should be celebrating that $31,000 score at the Hard Rock.
Well, I don't think he's going to make it out today.
Late
And
scratch?
yeah. Well, no, we ended up celebrating yesterday. We didn't actually do it in a steakhouse because, believe it or not, this guy Eric is kind of not vegan, but he does not eat red meat. So we went to a interesting place in Hallandale Beach on Hallandale Beach Boulevard called Ashlus Hummus, or Achlus Hummus, if you're going to pronounce it Israeli. What I would describe as it's a Israeli, kind of food, and I would call it very Jewish. It's like,
All right.
it's kosher, a lot kosher. They're closed on the Sabbath, on Friday evenings and Saturdays. The funny part is it's actually owned and run by somebody who is Arabic, not Jewish. And he's, I guess, a Christian, Arabic, Coptic, one of those Christian sects in the Middle East. But he has opened this Israeli restaurant, and it's really good and filled with, just all the observant Jews and Israelis and Hasidim. And basically, it was four of us poker degenerates in there. Me, my Muslim friend Sean, Willie Wiggins, and, we looked like... I don't know. It was good because that's
You look like Joe Biden wearing a yarmulke today at that service he was at in Israel, wherever he was. He really did. He looked like my rich uncle at my bar mitzvah, Joe Biden, but a little out of place there with the yummy.
I missed those images this morning, but yeah, that was kind of us, a little bit fish out of water. But hey, I'm a Jewish guy from Brooklyn, but the Israeli food, they had some of the best hummus and falafel that I've had down here in South Florida. And when you cut open the falafel and it's that nice bright green, that's just these beautiful little fried balls of the chickpeas. And I don't know how they get that color. Yeah. Oh yeah. But they put the green. I guess the green is from like a mint or parsley that they mix in with it, and absolutely delicious. And then they did these platters of. They make shawarma, but not out of pork, obviously, because it's kosher. But they made it out of chicken, and they have a whole spit filled with like kosher chicken with the skin and all, and the skin gets nice and crispy, and then they kind of slice it off, and then you get your fresh warm pita bread, and you just get all your little dips and sauces, and they have the nice hot chili sauce, and man, the place is pretty good. It was really good. Just the warning though, there's a little bit of sticker shock because anytime you have a glot kosher place where you have to bring in the higher authorities and the rabbis to
You got to
inspect
pay
and
the
bless
rabbi.
everything,
Let's face it. He wants to get
that
greased. There's no
yeah,
question.
that drives up the costs immeasurably. But
You
again,
ever,
it was
I mean, what's the price of a bris? Is it really all that expensive for one small procedure? No. But you
no.
got to grease the rabbi, otherwise he might not do such a hot job.
But did you hear about the Moyle who didn't charge much? He only took tips. Oh, that's one of the oldest, worst ones in the book. Okay,
you're gonna bury the even keel with these jokes. Unbelievable.
well, no, I could tell you that the oysters, clams, and shrimp here are definitely not rabbi approved, but it's kosher in my mind because my dietary laws are definitely different from people who actually follow the kashrut.
How distinctive are you about oysters, Mike Mayo? I mean, like I'll see the oyster menu in a place. It's a place right down the street here that has like a big oyster bar, and they have all the different oysters that they have. But how specific are you about it? Because to me, I mean, I see the difference in certain oysters, but I wouldn't know how to distinguish them by going, well, oh, whoa, those are Chesapeake blue eyes or whatever. I mean,
Well,
how sophisticated are you about it?
A lot of these high-end places now, they get various types of oysters. It's become like wine or cheese, different varietals and have different flavors. And the West Coast oysters tend to be a little bit smaller and a little bit creamier sometimes, but then the East Coast, where you go up north, like in Blue Point's or Long Island, and then further up the coast, Massachusetts has Duxbury oysters, and then in Maine they have a couple of different kinds. Those tend to be a little bit brinier, more salinity from the sea. As far as my rule of thumb is, I don't eat oyster. It used to be you didn't eat oysters in a month that had R in it, which is all the summer months, and that was basically talking about the Gulf oysters.
Yeah.
The ones that are from the warm waters of the Gulf. In the wintertime, obviously the waters cool down, and the further below the surface you get, the colder the water is. So oysters are usually pretty good because they're at lower depths. Although some oyster beds are a bit more shallow, but basically it used to be you didn't want to really eat the Gulf oysters in the summer months, but now they've refined the process that they have all these purification or pasteurization and things like that. But there still is risk involved in eating raw seafood and especially raw oysters. And I tend to shy away from the Gulf oysters in the summertime. Now, at a place like Even Keel, they have a blackboard right behind me, and it shows what the oysters of the day are. They have the Blue Points, which are from the Long Island Sound in Connecticut. They have the Malpecs, which are some of my favorites. That's from Prince Edward Island. Again, the way upper reaches of the Atlantic, just above Maine and all that. Malpecs are just great. And then they have Delaware Bay from Delaware. So they're featuring 3 types of oysters today. And the best time to come in for your oysters here at Even Keel is during their happy hour, 4 to 7, because all those premium East Coast oysters go for only $2 each, which it's a pretty good deal because you go to some places, some of these high end steakhouses, and they charge like $18 or $24 for just 6 oysters. So when you could get a dozen, or you could get 6 of them for $12, that's a good deal. And of course, they have their grilled oysters special during happy hour for just I think it's $5 or $6, which is also a tremendous deal. And I think for those, they're using something out of James River in Virginia, and those are good products too. So yeah, I probably gave you more than you ever wanted to know about the wide world of oysters and bivalves. But you can tell I get a little passionate. I love summertime. I love sitting at a place like this at a raw bar, and here I have my Bloody Mary in one hand. And if you get like a dozen clams or oysters on the half shell and you just start sucking them down, keep shucking and I'll keep sucking. That's my motto.
I was thinking while you were saying all that, the East Coast oysters are hip. I really dig the clothes they wear. You were all over the place. Lubie, you had something in there. Did you lose your train of thought?
Well, no. I was going to, I don't know if it's his naturally doing now radio for years with us, but he transitioned himself. I was going to ask him because the professor is the guy that really introduced me to oysters, and he always said he loves oysters, but he had a bad experience years ago eating them in a month that didn't have an R. So he said, look, there's nothing wrong with it. I know it's a new day, but he's a little weary. So I was going to ask Mr. Gourmet himself that exact question that he just sort of answered is, now there's more kinds of oysters. They're coming from cooler waters. do you still uphold that R thing? And I know you touched on it now, but to me, for someone who's new, should I still be weary in these months, May through August?
Yeah, so I will eat the cold water oysters any time of the year, and especially if you're paying for them, because I love them. They're a delicacy, and they're pretty healthy, and they're high in protein, and they're low in fat and low in well, they're not low in stuff that triggers the gout. So that's the one issue for the oyster eating. I know, Defo, when you were in New Orleans, do you eat grilled oysters when you go to
Grilled
your
oysters are my
tourist
thing.
spot?
I had a couple of occasions for grilled oysters. Went to the Acme one time, of course, right out of the chute. Those were fantastic. I loved every one of them. Everybody raved about them. And then we went to a place called the Oceana Grill, I believe it's called. It might be just Ocean Grill. They do them a little bit differently. They put a little bit of a cream sauce over their grilled oysters. And even though they were delicious, I didn't like them as much as I liked the just garlic parmesan brush that they put on the grilled oysters at Acme and some other places.
You're
But,
a
no gout,
traditionalist.
no gout triggered while I was there, which was good. I always bring my gout medication. That's the number one thing. Never mind the Viagra. I bring the gout medication, a couple of gummies, and I'm on my way to the races there. I'm in heaven.
Now that's purely medicinal with a card, and again, it's
No, I was authorized by a doctor, a legitimate medical physician,
Yeah, no, I
licensed
know.
medical physician.
It's
The guy
medicine.
collects 140 at the door, and you go through. It's like a car wash. You get the card by the time you go out. Yeah, it's
Well,
great.
I know you need it because at your age, with the variety of ailments and aches, pains, and the general neurosis and anxieties of being a Brooklyn-born Jew like me, you need that sometimes a little bit of the THC to take the edge off. So we're all about.
I think the
good
paranoia,
medicine.
though, in Brooklyn-born Jews might have, been in a bigger wave when you were born than it was when I was born. But we didn't care about anything. We were very carefree when I was growing up in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, we mingled. It was a real ethnic mix. You talk about a melting pot, and we all played ball together. And there was certain protocol that you followed for your own protection and safety, like not crossing into certain neighborhoods at night when you were by yourself without some kind of weapon, not a gun, but back then, like a slingshot was a big deal. But no, people got along. It was fun. I mean, living in the streets was a good thing.
Everybody got along, but it's just I don't know. I guess growing up in a household where
Depends on your upbringing, your parents.
yeah, well, I guess because well, I don't even want to get into this, but anyway, the whole basis of my neurosis, that'll be for my therapist, who retired, and obviously you can tell because I just sometimes I just start needing to.
All of a sudden, you joined the Merchant Marine, your therapist. I decided to volunteer to go to the Middle East. Yeah, that's great to get away.
Hey,
from
so it's
Mayo.
a good time to talk about. We're talking about summertime fun. We're out here near the beach, and it makes me think of Lauderdale's, and I can't wait to get together with Nikki Mohan and the Visit Lauderdale crew tomorrow at the Bang Shack restaurant. It's a restaurant in Hollywood. It used to be in the Yellow Green Farmers Market, and now they've gone brick and mortar. And Jason is the owner. He's a really cool dude. He was on Shark Tank at one point, and we're going to spend some time with him talking about his world famous Bang dips. His one that's made out of chicken. It's like a spicy dip, and he puts it on a lot of different dishes, including hot dogs. So we're going to be celebrating Hot Dog Month, National Hot Dog Month, and I'm not going to be trying to eat 7 or 5. I'm just going to have one Bang dog, as they call him, tomorrow with Nikki and crew, and that's going to be fun. But in the meantime, you should go check out Lauderdale's because this summer you can enjoy the good life for less in Greater Fort Lauderdale with those Lauderdale's. And that's all the specials, savings on dining, hotels, attractions, spas, and much more all summer long. So start planning your summer getaway or staycation. Get your friends to come on down here. Visit lauderdale.com/deals, and you can see all the ways you can save. They find great hotel deals on everything from luxury beach resorts to family-friendly suites. Indulge in food and drink specials at local restaurants and bars, including right here, Even Keel. They're one of the participants in that Lauderdale Dine Out promotion that gets underway in August and September. And, of course, you could shop Lauderdale's for exciting attractions for the kids like Flamingo Gardens and Butterfly World. And if you're a Florida resident, a first responder, or in the military, you'll find even more savings just for you. From miles of golden beaches to pampering at celebrated spas, hotels, and resorts, the good life awaits in Greater Fort Lauderdale. So please shop Lauderdale's now at visitlauderdale.com/deals and plan your best summer ever.
All right, more to come here. We're going to do some dining at Even Keel Fish Shack, and great spot here. Beautiful day. Come on out, people. We'll be out here for a while, and then the happy hour gets underway. What, 4 o'clock, Mike Mayo? So
Yes, 4 to
that's a
7 every
tremendous way.
weeknight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to introduce yourself to this place. Brad's on the scene here, always doing wonderful things and very imaginative, innovative cooking, and puts a lot of work and effort and pride into what he does here at Even Keel Fish Shack. Well, we'll return with Lubie and Mike Mayo on the Lunchbox in a moment.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo here for my friends at Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, 2500 Griffin Road, just west of 95 in Dania and Fort Lauderdale. They've been there a long time, over 70 years, the Studiali family. They know how to take care of you. They have steaks, seafood, and so much more. It's old school hospitality and a relaxed, nice setting. They have the bar. They have Monday, Tuesday half-price wine night. They have all kinds of great specials. And they also have a butcher shop now that you could buy your meats anytime, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Throw it on the grill at home. They're great cuts of meat like the filet mignon, 10-ounce barrel cut, all kinds of goodies there. And, of course, the dining room, it can't be beat. They have the early bird special every day at 4:30 to 5:30. They're open daily except Sunday until 10 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and tell them Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like pizza? I mean, who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. A little bit hard to find in that Riverside Park neighborhood, but totally easy to love. They've got Connecticut New Haven style of pizza in a wood-fired brick oven. It's run by a team of Wade and Reese. They opened about a year ago. It's a great place. Great pizzas, subs like chicken parms, meatball appetizers, salads, very relaxed setting, casual, outdoors, all outdoors, picnic tables. You won't even feel like you're in Fort Lauderdale. Go there. They have pickup, takeout. Call 754-779-7788. That's 754-779-7788. Pizza Spot. They're open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them that Mike Mayo and Defo sent you.
And we're back here on a Wednesday Even Keel edition of the Lunchbox, coming to you live from Even Keel Fish Shack in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea, which I believe is Defo's hometown. It's always good to come out and associate and see where the actual walk of life takes place. Did you do it today, or are you a little bit behind?
No, I didn't do it yet. And actually, I go the other direction because I live up the street here at another place that's often talked about on Let's Eat South Florida, right across the street. And Jim Sarni likes this joint a lot, the Sea Watch restaurant. Seems to come under some
I've never
scrutiny.
been there. It's one of those places I have to go.
I don't know that it's compelling to go there. I think it's worth a visit, but no, I mean it's not like it's fine.
That's like
it's
a
just
slam.
Not really. No, you interpret things in very harsh and extreme fashion, like you're on the January 6th committee here. No, a lot of people love the place. There are many places. Gianni's is a place I see rave reviews about from, I would say, the majority of people that write about it on Let's Eat South Florida, but it's not one of my favorites, although it's
interesting.
Fine.
It's interesting because I ask people that who I share what I think is similar tastes in food and aesthetics and things like that, and again I hear very mixed things about Johnny's, even though it's a favorite on the Let's Eat South Florida group that has 83,000 people, and you're going to get
people
different
love
opinions.
it. I mean, they absolutely love it. So,
and here's the weird thing: there were three places that I would call like almost Broward perennials that have been around a long time, that a lot of people on the Facebook group love that I have never been to yet. And one of them is Johnny's in Pompano, the Italian joint. One of them is Sea Watch on the ocean right here. Is that Lauderdale by the Sea or
Lauderdale by the Sea? Very much so.
And then that Bloody Mary's getting to me. Excuse me. I did a little Hank on you there.
Nice.
And then
what, you forgot who you were talking to late in your career? Come on. It happens to me all the time now. It really does. I understand.
No,
I used to be critical of it, but now I just accept it 100%.
The third place that I haven't been to that also gets rave reviews, but I hear mixed things from people like kind of in the know, a little more discerning, Thai Spice on
Thai
Commercial
Spice.
Boulevard.
Oh, no, very good. I've been there. I've been to all of those places.
You
actually.
like Thai Spice?
You know what? I don't go out of my way to go to Thai Spice, but I've been there several times years ago. I don't know, did it change hands or anything in the
No,
last
no, it's the same
decade?
old Michael Taunton.
It's always very good. Yeah. It couldn't.
He
There's nothing to
trained in
complain about. Yeah,
he trained in
nothing to complain
Bangkok.
about the other places either. I mean, Johnny's is fine. It's just not my favorite Italian restaurant. And for the rave reviews it receives, I personally don't go out of my way to go to Gianni's. And the same thing, the Sea Watch is fine. They do a nice job,
Well,
beautiful
you had
atmosphere. But I don't go out of my way to go there, even though I run into it as soon as I cross the street.
Did you or did you not meet Ray Hudson and Jim
Yes.
Sarney there for a recent
We had a nice time.
power cocktail hour, which it seems like a pleasant place overlooking the
Great,
beach. So,
great spot for that. Yeah, and the happy
Yeah.
hour is good. They have a lot of different things, very reasonable.
So you're saying
Yeah.
it's a drinks and apps place, not necessarily
no,
a
I'm not saying
dinner
that.
place.
I think people that go there for dinner, there are many people I'm sure enjoy it immensely. It's just not my favorite of those types of places. So
Okay, and once again, where were you on the morning of January 6th, 2021?
2021 or going back to the insurrection. Oh, that was what, just last year?
That was
Yeah, it seems like it was a couple
2021.
years
Believe it or
ago,
not,
yeah.
the election took place.
Wow.
Now I know this
Seems
is
like it's
hard for your
exhausting going over this,
71-year-old brain, but the
yeah.
election was November of 2020.
20,
So the
yeah, okay.
insurrection then took place afterwards.
I don't know why I was thinking it was 2020 because they've been investigating this forever. But it's funny. I do remember. I remember where I was when I went to watch the OJ chase when that first came on TV, and a lot of people remember that. And I was at a place that was a staple of the South Florida dining and drinking community here. It was on Federal Highway, and it was called the Stained Glass Pub.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you remember the Stained Glass Pub.
I do.
So it was a popular watering hole. I happened to be just coming back from a trip where I'd called a boxing match somewhere. And I remember I was sitting there watching this match being replayed on whatever channel they had on and thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize they did this or that. And in the middle of it, all of a sudden, here comes this white Bronco and AC. And, OJ had a gun to his head and the chase was on. But I do remember, I don't remember specifically where I was when I turned on the TV. I probably was at home. And I'm looking at the Capitol building and I'm going, where the hell is that happening? Venezuela? They finally got Raul in Cuba. And then I'm looking, I'm going, wait a minute. That's the U.S. Capitol. How is this possible? And just the stuff that's coming out is so insane. And yet it's very depressing as an American to still read. And this, take it for what it is if you're a right winger. But that 49% of Republicans still would vote for Trump after this. It's mashugana, to say the least.
And I think, well, you know what? I don't even want to get into all those politics and the polls and this and that. But yeah, when I saw those numbers that he still had a 2-1 lead over his nearest Republican
which is
potential
DeSantis,
rival,
no bargain.
DeSantis,
Yeah.
and the Times, they put a very rose-colored view headline on top saying half of Republicans no longer support Trump, and I was like, no, he's still getting more than 2-1 support. He's still by far the most popular of the potential candidates.
Amazing.
And that's the same thing that happened last time in 2016, where it was a full field of 13, a lot of maiden claimers in that field. Young horses who didn't really necessarily have the stamina or the know-how. And he ended up crushing all of them. And when they first started in polling, he was only at 21%, which you could say, 4 out of 5 Republicans didn't support him. He still ended up getting the nomination. And thanks to the vagaries of the Electoral College, he still ended up president, even though he was 3 million votes shy in the popular vote. And now you've got me started. I want to go back to the white Bronco chase because I have a story. Well, first of all, I have 2 stories for you. One about the Stained Glass Pub. I'm glad that you reminded me about. I kind of buried that place. Not in my role.
I mean, it wasn't exactly high-end class. I mean, that's for sure.
Here's
my memory of it is I first time I ever drank Goldschlager. I drank too much of it at the Stained Glass Pub.
Jägermeister, Goldschlager.
Goldschlager.
And did they have karaoke back then when you went in there?
I'm sure they did. Yeah, they had everything. I mean, people were throwing darts at each other. It was they had every bar game that you could possibly want. They had food there. It was very popular. I mean, I guess because of the location and
yes, popular
had
doesn't
some distinction. Yeah.
Right. It was popular and it had its charms. And here's how I buried it. It wasn't even when I was the food critic for the Sun Sentinel. It was back when in my news column writing days, but I got invited on to be a reviewer on Michelle Bernstein's Check Please South Florida show, which we talked about earlier this
episode,
year.
Yes.
Yeah, and this was way back, but one of the other reviewers on the episode, really nice guy who is no longer with us. I found out his wife is on the Let's Eat group, and I actually got in touch with her and we talked about that whole thing. But they loved going there. I went there kind of in my snooty critic mode, and
Yeah.
I did love the karaoke. I hated the food. I called it mediocre bar food, but I said the karaoke. I said, there's some places where you go in and it's so bad, it's terrible. I said this was so bad, it was good. So I kind of gave it backhanded
that was the
praise.
charm of the place, and the
It
food
was-
wasn't exactly anything that Horn and Hardart would have to take a back seat to. That's for sure. I mean, it was pretty ordinary. You're right about that.
So I kind of gave it a highly critical, maybe too critical for that show. Review.
Were you no longer welcome there after that? Did you ever go back?
At the stained glass pub? No, they went under about 2
you're
years
likely
later.
to go flying through the stained glass that adorned the window on the front side.
No, I actually heard of bad. It was kind of what made me feel bad is that this the wife of the reviewer who recommended it. Then because I kind of slammed it, took a lot of grief. Both the husband and wife took grief from regulars there for like getting them on the show, and then having some punk like me come on and like give an honest foodie review. And then, but she said that somebody actually like came to their house and damaged. I don't know. I was like,
wow,
it's the level. And this wasn't even social media. This was back in the days of before before Facebook really took hold. So I don't know. It made me feel bad. But she forgives me. That's it.
You spoke your mind. No, it was a popular hangout. I do remember that. And I mean, just getting back to the point, I just remember looking at this shot on TV, and I really couldn't believe that was a Capitol building that was being swarmed by American citizens.
Oh yeah, getting back to that.
While they were trying to overturn an election, and then all of this mischievous stuff. I mean, at the very least, you would have to think from what's come out.
Well,
that you're dealing with a stone, never mind criminal charges, just a flat-out nutbag.
I guess the latest thing is the local angle is Trump's former campaign manager, digital manager, Brad Parscale. I guess it came out that he sent a text on January 6th to another Trump spokesperson saying, I can't believe we have a sitting president fomenting civil war, and that basically that what his rhetoric has led to somebody, people dying today. Some damning stuff. I don't even. Here we go again. I'm going to get back to the white Bronco because where I was on the night of the OJ chase in the Bronco.
Track.
No, good guess. This was back in my
I had the 50-50 chance you were at a racetrack somewhere, yeah.
This was in my golf riding days. And remember, the NBA Finals were going on that same night. I think it was the Knicks against the Houston Rockets. And they kept cutting in and out of the game and cutting in with Bob Costas and with Marv Albert. And but I was actually in, I'm not sure, it wasn't a press room. It was the hotel media hospitality suite outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the U.S. Open Golf Championship, which that year was being conducted at Oakmont in Pennsylvania, a really good old school course, hard, tough as nails. But I was in this media hospitality room drinking beers, and we were watching the game, the NBA Finals, with an all-star crew, including Dan Jenkins, his own self. I don't know if you knew Dan Jenkins at all.
I didn't know him personally, but great writer, yeah.
Great writer.
Sports Illustrated, Dan Jenkins?
Sports Illustrated, Golf Digest, and a novelist. He wrote North Dallas 40 was his book, I think.
Did you write that? No, that was a hell of a book.
I believe a couple. He wrote a couple of these like sports novels that were famous and optioned into movies, and then also in that room was Rick Riley, who at the time was like the biggest star for Sports Illustrated. He wrote the back of the book column, and a bunch of other veteran golf writers and scribes. But I just remember watching this chase with these two like legendary sports writers, and both of them are like, sports writers, a little bit irreverent. So, it was a very grave situation because at that time we thought OJ was going to off himself. He wrote a suicide note basically. And, they were reporting that, but they're cracking all these, just really macabre jokes at the same time, none of which can be repeated here. And,
that case overall, though, you would have to say in the history of jurisprudence, from both the police side and the investigative side and the trial side, was handled very well, wasn't it? I mean, Could you bungle this any worse than anybody did, and come up with the wrong conclusion too? As they
Yeah, but the
found a
Peter
jury that
principle,
only Don King could have had come up with that decision.
the Peter principle is at work because, like, all these people who futzed around and totally botched the case still ended up becoming rich and famous and
Yes.
going on to lucrative careers, which just shows you in America it's not about the competence; it's about the just being known and famous. So, anyway, let's talk about something more pleasant. Let's
Yeah.
talk about Tropical Acre Steakhouse
Nice,
because did not make it there last night because. The big poker winner, Eric, was not eating red meat. I am very disappointed. But then I was realizing something this morning as you and Tony were talking about various steakhouses that I still owe you guys a meal for a certain bet. And I hate being a
This is
Welsh.
true.
So we need to take care of this debt soon. And I think the place to do it is on a half-price wine night at Tropical Acre Steakhouse because that'll get me off light and it'll make you guys very happy because you get well-fed and well-lubricated with good bottles of wine at half price. That's every Monday and Tuesday at one of my favorite places, Tropical Acre Steakhouse. Defo, when's the last time you were there? Was it with me?
Last time was that time we ate dinner there. Jack Studiali came over to the table. I've always, been a big fan of Tropical Acres, going back to the days when they were sponsoring the Bob Savage Let's See the Races show. And that, always stuck with me. And I used to love going there. I had a good friend that was a big shot in the radio business for many years here, Power 96, general sales manager John Jarris. This was his go-to place. And he turned me on to the Twin Lobster Special. That had to be over 30 years ago. And you know what? It's just as great today as it was then.
Yeah, and it's still a great deal. I guess, the numbers have changed a little bit, but when you consider all the different factors to get 2 lobsters, live steamed lobsters from Maine for $35 now, Monday through Friday, with a salad and side dish, you can't beat that. Go to Tropical Acres. They will treat you like a VIP, whether it's your first time or your 400th time. It's been around since 1949. The Studiali family, they are masters of hospitality. And there's just so many tremendous, value, so many great dishes, the prime rib, the filet mignon, the rack of lamb, the crab cakes, whatever you want. You go into that bar for happy hour the first 2 hours. You get all kinds of great deals. Early bird special, 4:30 to 5:30. They throw in a couple of extra bonuses along with your entree, side, and salad. You get soup and dessert and coffee and tea. All these great things. And don't forget the butcher shop. You could buy your meat and throw it on the grill at home along with the side dishes, cream spinach, and key lime pie. 2500 Griffin Road, just west of I-95 in the airport. They're open every day but Sunday. The butcher shop opens at 10 a.m. The dining room opens at 4:30 p.m. Please go into Tropical Acres. Maybe you'll see us and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
It's funny, too. Tony and I were talking about service a little bit today. And, if you're in the service industry, you should be there to provide professional service. And I always felt it was part of my job if I was serving a table. Now, you knew the table number. Okay, so this food's going to table 62. But shouldn't you also know who gets what based on your configuration of the seating so-called chart? There are only 4 people at the table. You should be able to figure out who had the steak rare, who had the steak medium rare, who was getting the fish. It shouldn't be one of those deals where you come to the table and go, hey, who had the fish? Right? And then you put it down somewhere else, the wrong place, and then you got to move it. And at Tropical Acres, you never have that kind of thing where the waiter or the waitress comes over and is confused about who gets what. I mean, it's all part of the professionalism there, and it makes a big difference in a restaurant.
Yeah, any professional upscale joint should know how to make notes of which diner gets which dish. And I used to give, major points, not major point, but it was definitely a demerit when I would do a review of a place. It's called auctioning off the plates when they come to the table and say, who had the flounder? Who had the medium steak? No, I don't want to
Baked potato.
I don't want to win an auction. Just, that's part of the deal of a proper service at a fine dining establishment. You'll get that every time at Tropical Acres.
All right, we're here at Even Keel. They don't mess around here at Even Keel. They aim to please, and they already have us going on National French. Is it just a day of French fries or a week or a month? What's the deal on that,
Just
Michael?
a day, but that's enough because you can't eat too many French fries. It's not good for your
Wasn't really planning on it, but,
but
this
here
is
we
great.
go. That's it.
Too hard to resist. All right, we're coming back with more here. Lauderdale by the Sea. Come on out, say hello, sample some of this great food at Even Keel Fish Shack. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox continues in a moment.
You like really good seafood, but maybe not in a fancy place? Even Keel Fish Shack. That's the place for you. I know it's the place for me, too. It's at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. It is a place for elevated food in a casual beachfront setting. They have good drinks. They got a great vibe. The chef owners, Brad and Dave, they come from a fine dining background. They had the original Even Keel Fish in Fort Lauderdale, but they moved over to this place in the last year. It is perfect. They're open every day for lunch and dinner. They also have brunch Friday through Sunday at noon. They have drink specials every day. They have happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. Some of the greatest deals around. You get the grilled oysters, 4 of them for $5. You can't beat that. All their food, the grilled octopus, the bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls. They have fish specials. They also have burgers and hot chicken sandwiches for the landlubbers out there. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Tell them Mayo and Defo sent you.
If you're looking for an honest place with great food and tremendous value, Costa's Greek Eatery and Pizzeria is the place for you. It's in Pompano Beach at 1940 Northeast 49th Street. It's just west of Federal Highway, just north of Sample Road, and it has not become my spot for Greek specialties like gyros, souvlaki, spinach pies, and pastitsio, that's the Greek lasagna, and also thin, crisp New York-style Greek pizza. You got to go try some of their specialty pies like the gorgonzola and spinach. Oh, it's worth a special trip. Costa is a great guy. He has Queens, New York roots, but he's been in business in Broward for a long time. He's a great guy. He'll throw a plate, say Opa, and greet and treat you like long-lost relative. Costa's is open every day for lunch and dinner. They're on all the major delivery apps. You can also dine in or take out. Go to Costa's Greek Eatery and Pizza, where everyone is family. Hey, it's Mike Mayo for my friends at Visit Lauderdale. This summer, enjoy the good life for less in Greater Fort Lauderdale with Lauder Deals. Great deals on dining, hotels, attractions, spas, and more, all summer long. Start planning your summer getaway online at visitlauderdale.com/deals and see all the ways you can save. From miles of golden beaches to food and drink specials to pampering at celebrated resorts, your dream summer vacation awaits. Shop Lauder Deals now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. And we're back on an Even Keel Wednesday out here, live remote broadcast from Even Keel Fish Shack in Lauderdale by the Sea. Having a little belated birthday celebration for one Jeff.
Very nice.
Forrest. I see that cocktails are flowing, libations. I see tropical drinks. I see we have French fries. I think later in the day, Brad said that in honor of French Fry Day, he's going to be doing chowder fries, which always a comfort food classic. Get the clams on top with some chowder and the fries. Who needs ketchup when you got good New England clam chowder? And Defo, I don't know. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit lost because usually Brad comes out and spends a little time with us. He's getting slammed in the kitchen. He also has car troubles. We're all having car troubles today, it seemed, with Mustang leaving you in the dust. And
no key. She insists the key was on there too, which it wasn't.
Yeah, and then Brad, he has a Jeep, an older Jeep, and the motor is acting up, and he's got to make some major decisions. It's like when you're in the hospital and the doctor comes out and says, they have a living will, and then you start talking about the options. I think he's at that point with his vehicle, and it's never a pretty sight when they say, oh, you need a complete new motor overhaul thing, and it's
time to scrap it, buy a new car at that point. Yeah, unless you have Car Shield. I mean, will you be touting Car Shield? You and Chris Berman?
No, I'm not on the Chris Berman
and
Car Shield
Ice-T or
club.
whatever that guy is. Has all
and the
these
thing
Rolls
is,
Royces.
I think Brad is willing to part with the Jeep. It's just that he's already painted it. It's one of those kind of like specialty Jeeps, and you get attached to it. And it's only got $1. He's telling me $125, 125,000 miles. You would think they would go a little bit
Might
longer.
be time to consider visit the deal.
He's been on the phone consulting with mechanics, and now I see him slamming out some lunch. We got a little bit of a lunch crowd here. So he's got the lunch rush dealing with. He's on the line. He's cooking. And you always want to be here when Brad is on the line because you're going to get top quality stuff. So
he looks good in his chef's jacket today. Did you see him? I mean, I don't know if he always adorns that particular piece of dress.
He's always sporting the chef look. And then Dave, the other partner, who's also an accomplished chef, he's usually more on the front of the house manager mode, wearing a nice kind of collared shirt and working the bar scene. But Dave's not around today. Brad is come on out because it's a beautiful place. And you know what? I got to also talk about another beautiful place, one that Defo has been stopping by and frequenting lately, and one that the Lunchbox will be doing our monthly remote next Tuesday, talking about Costa's Greek Eatery and Pizzeria in Pompano Beach at 1940 Northeast 49th Street, right across from the big Walmart super center there, just west of Federal Highway. And they've got the great Greek style, New York style, call it whatever you want. It's just good pizza. And Defo, you've been feasting on that stuff a little bit, right?
I really like their style there. Absolutely fantastic. We went there for the remote. It was the first time I'd been there. Pretty convenient. It looks like if you go MapQuest that it's out of the way. It's just off 49th Street and Federal Highway. I mean, you make, depending on which direction you're going in, a slight turn there, left or right, south or north. And you're right there. And very, very accommodating people. I love the atmosphere and the vibe. And the food is great. And that pepperoni pizza with the cup pepperoni.
Woo! Cup.
Yeah, and it's not like one of those things where you need a magnifying glass to see the pepperonis on the pie. I mean,
he puts a lot
inundated, man. That's tasty.
There's a lot of pepperoni on that pizza pie, and of course, he takes great pride in his Greek heritage, and he says that the Greeks are the ones that actually invented pizza. And the way that he throws plates around there, I'm not going to argue with him. So,
no.
And Costa's a great guy.
He's like Chop from the old James Bond thing, right? I mean, just throws it.
Yeah. No guests have gotten hurt from his plates, although definitely the floors and walls have taken it on the chin a couple of times because he loves to greet everybody and smash those plates and say "Opa." And you go in there, you also get the Greek specialties like souvlaki and spinach pie and the stuffed grape leaves and the pasticcio, the Greek lasagna. Tremendous values, tremendous hospitality. Go online, check out their menus, and you could also, for takeout and delivery on all the major delivery apps, if you go on to Kostas, GreekEateryPizzeria.com, that's Kostas with a K, GreekEateryPizzeria.com. Check it out. Better yet, go in there yourself. Come see us next Tuesday when we're broadcasting live during the lunch hour. Tell them Mayo, Defo, and Lubie sent you.
All right, a lot of fun. We're coming back with more. We got to, light up the cake, right? Jim Sarney putting a special birthday celebration on. I think he ducked into the back there.
I don't think he baked the cake, so we're not going to call him a baker, but he's, he brings cakes. He brings
awfully nice. I mean, really.
He shuttles you back and forth. We're going to have
to
to
put
him
the
on
sneakers, by the way? He was looking for those sneakers. Did you bring
I was
them back
looking
with
for
you?
them, too, and I don't know. I hope I didn't. I can't remember what I did with them. I hope
Probably
I didn't.
Sold them at the flea market.
I might have given them to the Salvation Army. No, I don't know. I got to look again. I probably threw them in a closet somewhere. But
we'll come back. A little birthday celebration as we close it off at the Even Keel Fish Shack on this edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on South Florida Live.
When people come to me and say, Mike, where's a great place for dinner? I got friends visiting from out of town. Where am I going to take them? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It is a Fort Lauderdale perennial. They serve the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. Service there is impeccable. Joey Esposito and his better half, Sally, they've been running the place for more than 2 decades. It's been there since the 1980s. It has some great food. They just recently expanded. They have a great bar. You could sit there if you're by yourself. You go in there with a date or your better half, and you can have a nice, cozy table for 2. You can go in with a big group and have a great festive time. They have great sangria. They have paella. They have shrimp with garlic sauce. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. It's open Monday through Saturday at 5 p.m. for dinner. They are closed on Sundays, but please go to Cafe Seville. You won't be disappointed. Tell them Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like wings? Do you like burgers? Do you like ribs? Do you like late night food? All this and more at Shenanigans. There's 2 locations. East side is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. And then there's the original in Hollywood, right across from TY Park on Sheridan Street. Pat Utter and his crew, they've been doing it a long time, almost 30 years, and they do a great job. It's a neighborhood place with a casual feel, really good food, good value. They have drink specials every day, beer, coldest on draft. Anytime that you want, the late night food, the kitchen is going until past midnight, both locations. They have outdoor dining if you need it too. Shenanigans is my place to go. You could also call up for a pickup right through a drive-through window on the east side. That's at 954-923-3008, 954-923-3008 for your takeout, pickup. Go to Shenanigans and tell them Mayo and Defo sent you.
And we're back here on the Lunchbox at Even Keel Fish Shack, wrapping up another fantastic remote. I'm a little bit surprised because usually once during our Even Keel visits, besides being visited by Brad, who's busy in the kitchen, we also usually once get slammed with a siren from a passing ambulance. That hasn't happened today. So, and we
Very quiet out here today.
I gotta say, it's a very smooth broadcast. I don't want to give myself a Kanahara, as they
We're
say.
not done
but,
yet. We're
I
not
think,
done yet.
with 3 minutes to go, what could happen? That's what Go for Juan said.
Famous last words in broadcasting. Yeah, all hell can break loose here, Mike Mayo. I've been through it all.
Oh man!
Trust me.
So, well, I guess we wanted to wish Defo a belated happy birthday. I don't know if things are starting to.
I think
percolate.
cake is coming out of the kitchen.
I could fill a little bit, but here we go. Maybe.
Well, where are you
maybe
going to be
not.
for tomorrow, 1 o'clock post time? Saratoga. That's the question.
Oh, tomorrow I'll be at happy
Wow,
birthday. Oh,
look
there
at
we
this.
go. To you.
Ooh, key
Happy
limer, man.
birthday, dear Defo.
Oh, look at those numbers. They're
Happy
big.
birthday to you. Oh,
All right,
gotta
I'm going
put
to
it up in
pretend,
the camera.
that we got the fire to blow out.
They even have the 71.
I thought it was supposed to be 17, Jim. What the?
Yeah, just
what
rearrange
is
them.
that?
Well,
Just juxtapose these a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, there
There
we go.
I feel a lot better about that.
All right, so we're in the final minutes.
It's like the price is right when you move the prices over and you win the car. 17,665.
Defo would give you key lime pie, which in my mind
Yeah.
is still the official state
Oh,
pie
that's
or
strawberry
state
shortcake
dessert.
thing.
Even if
Ron
those,
DeSantis can go bleep himself with that.
even if
I mean,
those
come on.
pikers in
Yeah.
the legislature start to try strawberry, their strawberry shortcake agenda. They talk about shove it down your throat. I don't want no stinking strawberry shortcake. The official dessert and pie of Florida.
This is going to be
key
great,
lime
man. It looks
pie,
scrumptious.
so
Absolutely
that's it.
delicious here.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, and they
Can
took
this
it away.
young
We're all
man have a
gonna
bite, man? Does he like key lime pie, this young gentleman?
I'm sure they
Oh,
all
yeah.
do.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
And now I feel like in that scene at The Godfather on the roof of the Havana National Hotel, where everybody has to have a slice of cake
Yeah.
for good luck. And
Enjoy
then
your cake. Yeah.
I say to you, Jeff Defo DeForest, we're going to be bigger than U.S. Steel. So.
Yeah, it has a shot anyway. I mean, right now, we're off to a good start. And always great being here at Even Keel. Thanks to Brad and the crew for having us in here. And Mike Mayo, always a pleasure being on the Lunchbox.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. And tomorrow we'll talk to you, touch base at the beginning of the remote show from Bang Shack in Hollywood. Come on out if you're in the Hollywood neighborhood. It's there on North 20th Avenue in between Harrison Street and Hollywood Boulevard, the world famous Bang Shack with Chef Jason. It's going to be a lot of fun with Nikki Bohan and the Visit Lauderdale crew. But meanwhile, we're going to continue the fun here at Even Keel Fish Shack. Come on out. We're going to be hanging out and having a little bit of lunch and pie for the next few minutes. And even if we're gone, you can't beat the specials for the happy hour, 4 to 7 every weeknight, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in the happening hotspot of Lauderdale by the Sea. All right. That's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll see you again tomorrow on the Lunchbox. Happy birthday to Defo. Thanks to Lubie for all the technical prowess. And until tomorrow, remember to enjoy every sandwich.